Hi everyone, it's Jay here, and today I'm going to review some of the manga and manhwa I read in November. I read 11 volumes, one of them was a BL standalone, and 3 were brand new series I had started. So in no particular order, let's begin. I started the month reading The Remarried Empress Volumes 7 and 8. So Navia is now with Henry, and so he's in a completely different political situation that she doesn't really know. She has to learn quickly in a place where everyone seems to be judging her. It's difficult because on the one hand you can understand why they would be wary of Navia coming in and replacing the ex-king's widow, who everyone seemed to really like. But on the other hand, that's the reality of politics, and we have followed Navia throughout the story, and so we are wholly on her side. She shows how adept she is at handling tricky situations. One of my favourite parts was the choosing of her new ladies-in-waiting. One of them is ready to judge Navia honestly, and the other, she is just brilliant. Such a wonderful addition to the story. She's a knight and far more masculine than the other women, but she is so happy to serve and is thrilled when people call her Miss instead of Sir. There's nothing new to say about Sovieshu, her ex-husband. He's still delusional, believing that Navia will come running back to him, and he's starting to see that Rashta has another side to her. There are some good moments in these 2 volumes of political and social manoeuvring. All I'm going to say is the wedding dress. It's certainly something. I cannot wait for the next volume, and it's out on the 29th of January 2025. The cover art though, very off-putting. Not a good piece at all. The angle of the face seems wrong, but I'll still buy it. I read Beware the Villainess, Volume 1. A college student wakes up in the body of Melissa Fodebrat, the villainess of a cliché reverse harem novel. The blurb tells us straight away that she wants to live a quiet life of luxury, but when she realises the men are all red flags, she is determined to protect the female lead from them. But we don't meet the female lead in this volume, which I really liked because it allows the mangaka to really flesh out Melissa as a character, and we get to know her quite well. She's engaged to the Crown Prince, who treats her with contempt by setting up moments where Melissa stumbles upon him cheating on her with another woman. In the past, Melissa has always reacted badly and attacked the woman, but now, with a modern-day college student running the show, it is just so funny. I really enjoyed how she reacted, and it starts off the volume wonderfully. Her father is a duke, and oh my god, his parts. I don't know whether to laugh or cry. So in this volume we meet 2 of the male leads, and I do like the slightly slower pace. It's not full of all the male character introductions. The key thing about this volume so far is it has taken the villainess story and wholeheartedly gone down the comedy route, and I love it. The expressions, the dialogue, some of the panel art, it's all aimed to make us laugh, and I definitely laughed. I'll be buying the 2nd volume, which is out on the 21st of January 2025. Along a similar vein, I read Father, I Don't Want This Marriage. The reader of a novel is reincarnated into the body of Juvelian, a villainess. She knows what fate awaits Juvelian, death, and that all Juvelian wants is to be loved. So she decides to change all that and breaks up with the guy she's engaged to, but who doesn't really show any interest in her, and declares to her father that she wants to marry for love, hoping that will stop him from pushing her towards any old marriage. Did I enjoy this volume? Yes. I like the tropes. For example, a seemingly cold father actually does have a soft spot for his daughter, ex-fiancé beginning to get jealous, and so on. All things we would expect to see in a story such as this, and I don't mind that. This story isn't doing anything new so far, but my slight issue with it is that so much happens in Volume 1. You don't get to see the growth in Juvelian's and her father's relationship. There's an attempt, but it doesn't seem as natural as, say, the father and daughter relationship growth we see in The Abandoned Empress. But apart from that, I really enjoyed it. There are some funny moments, but it's not going down the comedy route like Beware the Villainess does. And there are already some bits set up where you know it's going to go wrong in the future. Volume 2 is out on the 25th of February 2025, and I'm already looking forward to it. I read Senpai This Can't Be Love. This standalone BL manga follows two men who work at a graphics company. Yanase is well known and he's leading a new project. He's also the mentor of Kaneda, who acts cold towards Yanase, keeping a distance between them, but in actuality, Kaneda idolises him and can't believe how lucky he is to be mentored by him. This leads to amusing scenes, both heartwarming and sad. I really enjoyed this story because it was very sweet and cute. The misunderstandings were realistic and not put in for the sake of causing drama. If you like cute manga, definitely pick this one up. It has an explicit rating, but that only applies in the bonus story right at the end. So for those who don't want to read that bit, you can still read nearly the whole volume. I read A Business Proposal Volume 6 and as always it was a great read. There's quite a bit of scheming at the start to force Sung-hoon to break up with Young-soo, but she figures it out and is now facing a future that she feels she isn't capable of doing. Taemu gets a temporary new secretary, and if you love storylines with jealousy in, you are going to love this. This new guy is very attentive to Harry's needs, leading to Taemu getting green-eyed. I laughed a lot when reading this, and I think the two couples are super cute together. I'm excited for Volume 7, which was released in November, but my copy hasn't arrived yet. I finally got back to reading Yona of the Dawn, and as always it doesn't disappoint. I read volumes 13 to 16, which worked well because it was a whole story arc of them having to deal with drug addiction in the Water Tribe. A new character is introduced called Lady Riri, daughter of the Water Tribe chief. She is such a great character throughout this story. She's determined to help her people, and she tries, but the reality is she doesn't know or have the experience to help. This causes her to be a bit ineffective, but as she spends more time with Yona and the gang, she's willing to help and she admires Yona. I think she initially sees Yona and almost assumes she's someone else who says they want to help people but is ineffective, but she's quickly proven wrong. I want to move on to volume 16 though. This was a fantastic volume and has the best scene in it so far. The cover gives you a hint that from how serious Hack's face is, it's not going to be good. I will not spoil it for you, you have to enjoy it for yourself, but wow. Nearly the whole volume builds up to this moment and you can feel the anticipation building and building. And when it happens, wow. It is a phenomenal scene, full of emotion and I'll stop there. I don't want to ruin it. Just enjoy it. I cannot hype up this scene enough. Last but certainly not least, I read Under the Oak Tree Volume 1. This is the comic version, not the novel, although I do want that too because it is so pretty. So the story follows Lady Maximilian, who has a stutter which her father despises her for, and she's forced to marry Sir Rifdan, who after their wedding night goes away to war and doesn't return for 3 years. There are rumours going around that he will divorce her and marry the princess, leading to her father to be even crueler to her. The rest of the story is what happens between Maximilian and Rifdan, how they interact and how their relationship changes. I really enjoyed it. I've never read it before, but obviously there's a lot of hype around it online, and I had heard of it before I bought it. There are some very funny scenes between Rifdan and his friends and knights, and there's quite a bit of character growth on Maximilian's part, which is good. She wants to do things right and she works hard to learn what she needs to do. The volume itself is gorgeous. I love the shade of green, and the art is great too. It's just beautiful. It is a thick hardcover, which means we get to read a big chunk of the story in one go, but there's a cliffhanger and we have to wait until July 2025 to get the next volume, which I don't understand. Maybe someone can explain in the comments below, because the webtoon is complete, so why is there such a long wait between volumes being published? Anyway, I had a good reading month this month because I really enjoyed everything I read. Let me know what you've read recently. Do you have any recommendations for me? Have you got any thoughts on these series? Let me know in the comments below. Happy reading, everyone. Bye!